Alright guys, today we're going to try something a little different. We're not doing a Minecraft video. Instead, we're going to take a look at this shooting MMO I found called Fallen Earth. It is a free-to-play MMO that I thought was really cool, so I decided to do a video on it. So let's get started. We'll start off with the character customization. It's really unique. Or not unique, but there's a lot you can do with it. They really are based around the idea of tattoos and piercings, which isn't a big thing to me because I'm not into that stuff, but I mean, as you can see here, there's a lot you can do with it. I mean, not as much as games like Perfect World, where theirs is really in depth, but it's more than normal ones like Warhammer and World of Warcraft. But it's same thing for females and males. You can change almost everything. Now I'm going to speed this up so you guys don't have to sit here and watch me create my character for however long it took me, but you can still see all the features that I'm going through. Like the facial hair, the face tattoos, the piercings, and the facial paint. Now on the other side, we'll get there in a second, but on the other side there is like your height and your body hair and your body tattoos, and then there's the clothing you get to choose from, which there's not a lot of options. I think there's 3 shirts, and then all you get to do is your shoes, and that's just because you'll pick up gear later in the game. And then the name generator, that made me laugh. But anyway, so now that we got our character made, let's go ahead and talk about the combat. The combat isn't like any other MMO really, at least not that I've played. Normal ones that I've played, it consists of you tapping how many ever attack moves you have, like your 1, 2, and 3 button. Now I didn't like that because it didn't take much skill. Most people were running around jumping. Now in this you actually have to aim and attack. You go into a combat mode and you actually swing at them. It's not like it auto locks for you. And then once you get a hold of a gun, it then becomes just a first-person shooter, or third person if that's how you like to play. It's just like any other one. You zoom in to shoot, you left click to shoot. I mean, it's really nice. It's not, like I said, it's not like any other MMO really that I've played before. Like for instance, right here is a great example. In other MMOs that I've played, like World of Warcraft for example, if you're facing more than one enemy at a time, or like you're in a dungeon taking, most people will just run into the middle of them and use their attack that'll hurt all of them at once. Now in this game, you can't do that, so you actually have to single them out and kill each one by one. Now it does have the attack bar, like I said before, the 1, 2, and 3 buttons or whatever. It does have those, but they're not as big of a thing. For example, right here, I was trying to kill these things called underdwellers, and I kept having to reload. It was killing me because they kept catching up to me while I was trying to reload. So I'm running around jumping like an idiot trying to kill them from a distance. And it does add a little something to the game, and it's really nice.
Now get on an ATV and drive.
But it's not just like rifles and one melee weapon. I mean, you can dual wield to a certain extent. As you can see here, I'm holding 2 little daggers or knives. And it's not just those. I mean, you can do it with guns too. Like here's 2 pistols. Now it works essentially the same way. Left click shoots your left gun, and right clicking shoots your right gun. It's really simple and nice. I mean, I like that they did that, but you can do a pipe in one hand and then a knife in the other, and it's nice. Now, this next thing I'm going to talk about, I was really excited for when I saw it for the first time, and it is the horse combat, or mount combat. You can fight while on your mount. Now, I thought this was amazing until I tried to do it. It does not work out as well as I thought it would, because when you're in your firing mode or attacking mode, you're aiming your gun or melee weapon. So, like here, I tried to get some distance on the guy by riding away, but then I couldn't turn my horse because I was in my combat mode. So what you have to do is you have to exit out of your combat mode, then re-enter it just to face him again, which then didn't do any good. But if you can look past these few things that are bad, it's really nice and I like it, it's different. But the next thing I'm going to talk about are just the mounts in general. Now, as you saw before, there's the horse, which you get really early in the game. It's like right after you leave the tutorial area. Which is nice because it was like the first quest that they actually sent you off on a longer distance to, and then they gave you a horse and was like, here you go. I mean, I didn't have to walk the whole way. I was able to get there really fast because they had given me this mount. But this isn't the only mount. I was walking through the first town and I saw a motorcycle. Now I was psyched to see this. I was like, ah! I wanted to ride it, but of course I couldn't. But I mean, that's also, those aren't the only two mounts. I mean, in the tutorial area, it actually showed you one of the mounts, which was the ATV, and you got to drive it for a short time. Now, it was really short and kind of pointless, but it was nice. And then there's other mounts like dune buggies, which I thought was really cool. Now, the next thing about the game I'm going to talk about is the crafting aspect of the game. Now, it plays just like any other game where you have to go and you have to collect your resources and essentially craft your items after you get all the stuff for it. Like, as you can see here, I had to go gather some scrap metal so I could craft some ammunition. Now, there is a lot of choices when you're crafting things. You can craft ammunition for your guns, you can craft new guns, you can craft like healing stuff like band-aids and stuff, and then you can craft more melee weapons, like one of them was like a lawnmower blade and a spear. Now, there are things about, like, here I go, I'm showing you some of the ones you can do. Here's some there's some makeshift weapons and just stuff like that. Now, there is a big thing about it that I do not like at all, and it is the time that it takes you to craft things. It's not like in WoW where you're to craft a band-aid or a potion or whatever, it takes you 1.5 seconds. Instead, for this quest, I had to craft some ammo. It took me 3 minutes and 45 seconds to wait for it to be done. Now, yeah, that's not so long, but it does bother me because that's the only thing I had to do for the quest. So I had to wait almost 4 minutes until I could turn in my quest. Now, their way of contradicting this or fixing this was you could set up a queue and you can start crafting multiple things. So right after the first one's done, it'll automatically start crafting the second one. And yes, it will craft while you're offline, which was really good. I really liked that, so I didn't have to sit there in game and just wait. Now, the next thing is like the factions. There's not a ton, but there is some. Each of these factions is also towns. There's some that focus on combat, some that focus on crafting. One focuses on farming, rifles, pistols, and so forth. Each one is their own town, and I'm not exactly sure how those work completely because I haven't explored them, but I do plan on making further videos later. I just thought I'd get one going. Now, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you thought. If there's other games you want to see me review or do videos on, let me know. Comment, rate, subscribe. Thank you, and I will talk to you guys later.